Welcome to Real Appreciation. I'm one half of your host of the show, David Clair-Bennett.
And I'm Maria Elizabeth Darnell.
And who did we interview today on the show, Maria?
Vincent Martella from Phineas and Ferb.
Vincent Martella from Phineas and Ferb. And if you don't know who Vincent Martella is, that's okay, because I'm sure you do when I tell you this. He is Phineas Flynn himself from the hit Disney animated series, one of the most iconic Disney Channel shows. Isn't that right, Maria?
Yep, we love him so much.
We do love him so much. And hey, without further ado, we are not going to make you guys wait any longer for this incredible episode. So without further ado, welcome to the show, the one, the only, Phineas Flynn himself, Vincent Martella. How excited were you when you heard the news that Phineas and Ferb was returning for a new season?
Oh, so excited. We were able to come back and do a movie in 2020, and then people responded so well to that Disney was like, we need you guys to do more seasons of the show.
What's a difficult moment in your career that left you feeling truly grateful afterward?
I've had periods in my career, like a lot of people in the arts, where you either go from working a lot to working not a lot at all. Phineas always says,
Yes, I am.
Welcome to Real Appreciation, the show where we explore the artists behind the arts and the gratitude that powers them. I am David Clair-Bennett.
And I'm Maria Elizabeth Darnell.
And today we're thrilled to sit down with someone who's been making audiences laugh, cry, sing, and cheer for years, from Disney Channel to iconic voice acting roles in animation, video games, and everything in between. You know him best as the voice of Phineas from Phineas and Ferb. Please, without further ado, welcome to the show, the one, the only Vincent Martella.
hey, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you so much, man. First and foremost, how excited were you when you heard the news that Phineas and Ferb was returning for a new season?
Oh, so excited. I mean, I have now worked on Phineas and Ferb for 18 years, so it's been a huge part of my life, and it is by far my favorite job I've ever had. It has such an impact on audiences and on fans, and the fact that, we were able to come back and do a movie in 2020, and then people responded so well to that Disney was like, we need you guys to do more seasons of the show. It was the best feeling in the world, and I know I speak for everyone on the cast and crew when I say this, is we hope we get to keep making the show for a really long time. It means a lot to all of us. It's a huge part of our lives, so we love it, and we're super thankful to the fans for following the show this long and being so passionate about it.
I just wanted to ask you, did it feel like stepping back into your childhood or more like a completely new adventure this time?
There was a lot of familiarity to it because I spent so much of my teenage years into my early 20s making the show. So there was that sense of nostalgia, and there is every time I go into the studio. But this time, it definitely has a different feeling to it, in the sense of, I'm a much more experienced actor in every regard now. Like I'm in my 30s now. I have just more life experience and more experience in the industry. And I've learned so much from making the show already. So to kind of take all those lessons that I've learned in voice acting and in comedy and in just the process of making everything I've made, I got to bring all that knowledge back to this show that I started when I was 13. So it's fun to be older now and to appreciate appreciate the whole experience in a different way than I did the first time.
What are you most excited for in terms of the future of Phineas and Ferb?
I am most excited about seeing fans' reactions to some of the episodes I know we've already recorded and have done, because our writers are amazing. They're fantastic people. We'd have no show without our incredible writers' room. And we have a lot of really fun stuff that we get to have coming up for the rest of season 5, and then definitely in season 6. There's some really great episodes in season 6 that I'm just so excited for the fans to see, and episodes that I think are some of the best things that we've done. Some really great music too that'll be coming out for the show, and so I'm excited about all that stuff. And my favorite part about working on the show is when I get to interact with the fans and when I get to talk to them and hear stories about what the show has meant to them and what the show means to them to this day. And so I that's all my favorite stuff is that we've made something that we all care about and it really resonates with people. So those are my favorite experiences.
You also work with the amazing Ashley Tisdale, who plays Phineas' sister in the show. Please tell us about your experience working with Ashley for all these years.
Ashley's great, very, very talented. Obviously, she's been a huge part of Disney Channel for all of our lives, for most of our lives there, yeah. And it's awesome. I mean, we grew up in different ways making this show, but she's always been really, really lovely, a very talented singer. And it was wild because we actually worked together on another animated show I think it was 2 years before we started on Phineas and Ferb. It was a different Disney show that did not get picked up, because you do pilots for episodes of TV sometimes that don't end up going anywhere. Um, and we actually shot something together, and it was one of the few times that I worked on something where there was a group record, like all of the cast was there, and she was in it as well. So I worked with her on that, and I remember her telling all of us like that night, she was like, "Hey, everybody, please watch the new show that I'm going to be on called Sweet Life of Zach and Cody." And she was telling us all about it. And so it's very funny that I have this memory of her right before she started working on that and right before we started working on Phineas and Ferb. So to see how our lives have kind of completely changed because of this show and what it means to people, it's been fun. And yeah, she has two young children now who hopefully are fans of the show. They're pretty young though, so I don't know how much they watch it, but I hope they get to enjoy watching their mom, make this cartoon, especially if they, grow up watching it.
Well, that's amazing. And I think it's also a really great Easter egg. And speaking of Easter eggs, we actually do a lot of like movie and TV show Did You Know trivia. So I wanted to ask, were there any Easter eggs in Phineas and Ferb or any Did You Know facts that only maybe the cast would know?
Only the cast would know. Um, I don't think so. In terms of things that we've hidden in the show, that we do a lot of self-referential stuff in our show where we like have ongoing gags that continue. One of them I've talked about on the internet before is like how people ask, "Aren't you a little young to do so and so?" And Phineas always says, "Yes, yes, I am." And so we have little gags like that. One of my favorite running gags is when Dr. Doofenshmirtz doesn't recognize Perry the Platypus unless he has a fedora on. So he just thinks it's a regular platypus. And we find very fun ways to hide that ongoing joke in the show. But I don't think there are any Easter eggs of things that we've hidden from the fans, unfortunately. Sorry, I can't give you guys the big scoop there.
It's okay. We'll get back to more Phineas and Ferb in a little bit here. But Vincent, you started acting at such a young age. What's one moment from those early years that still sticks with you even today?
I mean, I worked on a show for a very long time called Everybody Hates Chris, which is a live action sitcom, and I just know that I took a lot of the lessons from being on that set and being with so many really legendary, really talented comedians. I just learned so much about comedy and I learned so much about timing and about what makes things funny and how to construct scenes that make people laugh and why they make people laugh and why we do things the way that we do them on television. And so that's been some of the most informative things I could ever have. Like anytime you work with people where you can really absorb new knowledge about like the arts when you're making it, I find that to be invaluable. And that whole experience for me was one big learning process. I mean, it was all my high school years, so I was just learning. It was like all my high school was also learning about making TV shows and making comedy specifically. It
Well, speaking of Everybody Hates Chris, how was your experience on that show?
was fantastic. I loved working on Everybody Hates Chris. I literally grew up making it, and it was so fun. I got to wear so many amazing outfits as my character Greg. Um, some were truly, truly horrendous, and at the time I didn't appreciate it, like because you're a teenager and you're like, I want to look cool all the time. But now it gets like it gives me the most joy. Like people will post a photo of me in an outfit that I like don't even remember wearing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so funny that I have this footage of me in this like stupid elf outfit from like a Christmas episode. Um, and so I had a wonderful time working on that show and worked with a lot of really great actors. I mean, Terry Crews is absolutely hilarious, and he's working all the time. Sheena Arnold was already a very seasoned comedian before she worked on Everybody Hates Chris, and is now on a great CBS show. Tyler Williams, who plays Chris on the show, I mean, he's doing incredible work on Abbott. Like him and both of his brothers are actors too, and they're super talented. So. Yeah, it was a really fun time and really special.
You've gotten to play so many characters over the years, from cartoons to live action to video games and beyond. If you could actually step into the shoes of any one of your characters for just a day, who would it be?
Definitely Phineas, because not only is Phineas an amazing creative inventor, um, he's a rock star, so that would be awesome. To be able to write music as good as Phineas and Ferb do. And on top of that, he is always so optimistic. Like that's his whole, life is about carpe diem and about making the most of every single day and things being good and happy and positive. And I would love to have that positivity that Phineas has. I would love to be able to keep that attitude all the time, when I'm dealing with like adult problems. And I'd love to be able to just be optimistic all the time.
Well, we love optimism all the time, man. But how surreal is it to see you go from a show like we were just talking about with Everybody Hates Chris to one of the most iconic Disney animated series of all time?
It's super wild. I mean, I feel very fortunate that I was involved in and am still involved in shows that seem to have made an impact on so many people. And it was crazy too, because when I started working on Phineas and Ferb, I was still working on Everybody Hates Chris. So there were days when I'd go from working on Everybody Hates Chris, like at Paramount Studios in Hollywood, and then race over to Disney afterwards and then go record episodes of Phineas. So I was literally doing them both at the same time. And the fact that yeah, I got to make two of these shows that really mean something to people. You always hope when you do anything creative that your work gets a response out of people, like a positive response, and that people enjoy it. It's not all about that, obviously, but it's a good feeling knowing that what you're making is being consumed in such a good way. And I feel very fortunate that I've worked on, two pretty big shows that did that. Um, and yeah, now it's all these years later, and I get to keep making Phineas and Ferb. It's truly great.
You've done both live action and voice acting. Which do you find more fulfilling?
I don't have a preference there. A lot of people ask me that, and I don't actually have a preference. They're so different. Like what you're doing, the process is so different. Like with animation, you're almost always alone. Um, but something I love about animation is I get to do so many different voices where people would not know it's me. I get to really truly hide behind these characters, and like I play a bunch of random characters in Phineas and Ferb that most people would never notice. Um, and that's such a treat and such a like a magic trick that I get to do for, kids who know that I play Phineas and they're like, "Will you do the voice for me?" And I get to talk to them as Phineas, and you see like their eyes light up, and that's so special to have that moment with kids. But then when you're working on something live action, um, it's all about how you work with other people, and it's all about responding to what they give you in their performance, and it helps inform your own performance. And so they're just different processes, and I like them both for different reasons. Like I don't think I'd be like, I only want to do this for the rest of my life. I hope that I get to keep doing both. Um, because yeah, I love them in different ways. Like they give you a different sort of creative fulfillment when you do each of them.
Maria and I are also both actors and voice actors as well. So as you know, some roles tend to challenge us more emotionally, more than you might expect for people who aren't in our field. And which character or scene would you say has ever tested you the most, and what did you learn from it?
Yeah, I guess that can be different things. But like when I worked on The Walking Dead, that was really amazing because I was a huge fan of that show before I worked on it. But I had never been involved in something that had so many special effects and so much special effects makeup and such a giant crew. Like they had multiple units working because at the time that I was on it, it was the biggest show on television. So they had an incredible budget, and these sets were just so big and so immersive. And you'd have these really long days where like I eventually become a zombie on the show. Spoiler. I do die, and but I become a zombie, and so then you have these hour, you're there for like 12 to 14 hours in like full zombie makeup with these contacts in that you can't see anything really. You're covered in blood. Um, and yeah, as you were saying, like you're just like physically and emotionally exhausted after going home, like doing like a day like that where you're like dying or you're fighting with someone and you're giving all this energy, for hours on end. So I would say that that's one of the toughest ones, but in the best way. Like I left that experience feeling so um, like man, I wish I worked on it longer
Yeah.
because it was such a cool set to be on, and all those actors were so nice and so talented. And like I said, just the artwork of everything, of the whole crew, like the job everyone was doing was um so clearly the top tier of talent that you could get at every position. And so I have so much respect for all of them, but those days were long for sure.
Would you ever be down for a live action Phineas and Ferb?
Yeah, I guess so. If they asked us to do it, I would never say no to working with Dan and Swampy. I love them. I'd work on anything with them. I don't really think it would work. I think we animation is the proper medium for what the stories that we tell, and specifically having them, be children and stay children, forever in the show, other than we have one episode where it kind of shows the future. But it's important that it's kind of a time capsule, and it's important that they stay who they are. So I don't really think it would make a lot of sense for us to do anything live action. And to my knowledge, I don't think that that'll ever be happening.
Who would you say has been one of the most influential people in your career?
Influential. The top two would be Swampy Marsh and Dan Povenmire, who are the creators of Phineas and Ferb, because not only have I worked with them for almost 20 years and they're, some of my best friends, they are unbelievably talented. The amount of responsibilities that they have to do to make a show like Phineas and Ferb, it's truly amazing. And I've shadowed them before, and I've spent a lot of time with them in the writer's room, and to see how talented they are and how good they are at writing these scripts and running the show, overseeing everything that happens, doing voices on the show, then leaving, going into the editing bay, making sure that the show looks right, making sure all the cuts are exact, sending their notes to all the artists, making sure the art looks right, fixing things on site with their artistic talent, also writing music. Like, they are constantly doing so much that I don't think people realize in order to make this show what it is. And I find that really inspiring. I find that incredible. And I mean, it took them, 13 years to sell this show. Like, they started writing it together in 1993, and we didn't shoot till 2006. So this was a real passion project of theirs, and they worked on a lot of great stuff in between. They just never quit. They never quit with this big idea that they had, and it paid off so well. And they were right. Like, they were right about this idea and about these stories. So I feel very inspired by them all the time.
Never give up on your dreams.
Absolutely. Yeah, they are proof of that. That, when you really love and care about something, you really have to be passionate about it and keep up with it. And they did, and now we're here all these years later, and they I think if you told any of us, even in 2006 when we were doing the pilot, that we'd be the most popular Disney animated TV show of all time, we would all say that you're crazy. But I can't imagine what it would be like telling them that in 1993. This has been just a part of their life for so long.
It's absolutely beautiful, man. But how awesome does it feel to see your likeness on video games, toys, cartoons, and beyond?
Really cool. That's some of my favorite stuff. Like, I really geek out about the Phineas and Ferb merchandise. My favorite is obviously the fact that we have a presence in the parks. Like, that's my favorite, is seeing the walk around characters at Disney World and at Disneyland, and seeing kids get to meet these characters and how happy they are, and they're like playing Phineas and Ferb music. Like, that's my voice coming out at Disneyland, like out of speakers that kids are dancing to and singing along with, and they're meeting the characters, and that is so surreal to me. Like, that's the best feeling in the world. And I could work on a lot of really cool things the rest of my career, and I hope that I do. Um, but the odds of ever working on something that gets you characters in Disneyland or in Disney World, it's really low. Like, they don't do that for a lot of characters. Like, they don't. They kind of have a set amount of people that they like to do that for. And so the fact that we're included in that is like the biggest honor of all, because I love Disney and I love going to the Disney parks. So that's my favorite. Like, I love the shirts and everything. Like, I could definitely go and buy some of the shirts that I think are cool, but seeing the characters in the parks, and then seeing people too. There's like people have Phineas and Ferb ears and stuff, like either ones they've made, or there's a Perry one that they used to sell at Disney World that a bunch of people have. And that is wild. Like, that is just so wild that that exists, and I'm so grateful to our fans.
Sometimes challenges in our lives tend to teach us the most. What's a difficult moment in your career that left you feeling truly grateful afterward?
I would say, I've had periods in my career, like a lot of people in the arts, where you either go from working a lot to working not a lot at all. And I've definitely had some gaps in my career where I'm like, oh wow, I haven't really worked consistently on something in like a year. And in those times when that's happened to me, I have found other things that I become really passionate about um, in entertainment, and that's taught me a lot of lessons, and I'm grateful for all of that. Like, I lived in New York for a couple of years and got really passionate about writing and performing sketch comedy, and I met so many great people because of that. I met so many wonderful talented people and got to work with so many great people, doing comedy for nothing, like doing no, like making pretty much no money, but just performing all the time and doing like sketch comedy festivals and meeting people and just throwing myself into different creative environments. And I'm fortunate from that. Like I learned from that. But those have been times when I've been able to, obviously because I wasn't working regularly, I was able to devote a lot of time to these other things. And so um, I would say that those are like when it's been challenging and when it's been really slow and when I feel like, man, I cannot, I'm not getting to do the thing that I love to do all the time. Um, yeah, getting to find those other creative outlets has been special.
As we wind down here on Real Appreciation, we love to express our gratitude and appreciation for life every single day. And a big way that we do that is by saying 3 things we're grateful for each and every day and before we go to bed. So, Vincent, with that being said, what would you say are the 3 things you're grateful for in your life right now?
I'm grateful for my dad. I love my dad. He's one of my best friends, so I'm really grateful for him. He's always there for me. I'm grateful for him. I'm grateful for the absolutely wonderful experiences I've had with fans of the show since the show has been back since June. I've had some really, really great, like moving experiences with people who love this show so much, and with a lot of kids, at Disneyland and stuff, who will recognize me and want to talk to me, and I'm very grateful for that. I love being able to bring joy to families and do funny voices and make them happy and make them laugh. And then third, I'm grateful for my dog Boba. He's really cute, and he got really sick this summer, and I was really scared for a little bit there. But he's doing so much better now, and I'm really grateful for him. I love him.
Where can people find you on social media?
They can follow me at the Vincent Martella. That's on Instagram, YouTube, um, TikTok, Twitch. It's all the same. It's at the Vincent Martella, and I try to be good about posting consistently. I do my best. Obviously, if you guys clip any of this or anything like that, I'd love to collab on any post or anything like that.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Don't forget, you guys can watch the newest season of Phineas and Ferb on Disney Plus, starring the man we've been speaking with today, Vincent Martella himself. And in the meantime, while you guys are here, please keep helping our show grow by subscribing, sharing, liking, giving us a follow, 5 stars, anything and everything helps. Thank you guys for the amazing feedback, the millions of impressions. We're all so grateful and very thankful for each and every one of you guys for allowing 2 dreamers like Maria and I. Thank you so much for your time, Vincent.
Thank you to all your listeners and subscribers for listening to this today. And yeah, thanks for letting me keep doing what I love. It's the best job in the world. So thank you guys.
Without the fans, there's no Vincent, there's no Maria, there's no David, there's nobody. So thank you all very much.
It genuinely means a lot to I'm sure all of us. So yeah, thank you all.
Again, guys, make sure you watch the newest season of Phineas and Ferb on Disney Plus. Follow Vincent on his socials listed in the description below. Until the next episode, I am David Clair-Bennett.
And I'm Elizabeth Darnell.
And he is the amazing, the incredible Vincent Martella, the voice behind Phineas Flynn, and we are out. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.
What an amazing episode of Real Appreciation. We want to thank Disney. We want to thank Hulu. We want to thank Vincent Martella for allowing this to happen. We want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching and or listening to Real Appreciation today and each and every single week. Isn't that right, Maria?
Yes, we thank you so much.
Did you have a good time on the show today, Maria?
Had a wonderful time.
I had a wonderful time, and I hope each and every one of you beautiful faces, each and every one of your beautiful faces and souls had an amazing time today. We are so excited. We are so full of energy. We're also a little bit tired, but that's okay because we've got Dubby energy, don't we, Maria?
Yeah, we love our Dubby.
Dubby. We love our Dubby. That was the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, but that's okay. What is not stupid is Dubby energy. And you can get your own Dubby energy today with a promo code called REAL10. That's REEL10. REAL10. Dubby energy keeps you awake. I need some Dubby energy, don't I, Maria?
Yes, you sure do. So check it out, guys.
You gotta check it out. Use promo code REAL10 at discount for 10% off. Dubby. Thank you again. Thank you, Vincent Martella. Thank you, the fans. Thank you, the audience. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you subscribe, like this video if you're watching on YouTube. Give us a 5-star on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher Radio, whatever it is. We want to thank you so very much.
Yes, thank you, guys.
All right, we are out of here. I am David Clair-Bennett.
And I'm Elizabeth Darnell.
And you have been watching and or listening to Real